أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حتى إذا جاء أحدهم الموت قال رب ارجعون لعلي أعمل صالحا فيما تركت كلا إنها كلمة هو قائلها ومن ورائهم برزخ إلى يوم يبعثون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. أعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بالحسين عليه السلام، وجعلنا وإياكم من الطالبين بثاره مع إمام المهدي عليه السلام. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam said that al-maut awwalu manzilin min manazil al-akhirah وآخر منزل من منازل الدنيا. It means that death is the first stage of the hereafter and the last stage of this world, dunya. Death is a transition from dunya to the next world through the world of Sakaratul Maut, and we enter the world of Alam al-Barzakh or Alam al-Qabr. As we said, Alam al-Qabr usually is what we refer to the start of Alam al-Barzakh, or it may be used as Alam al-Barzakh itself. What people may get confused is that they think when we say qabr, which means grave, and if we say the world of grave, they think we are talking about this dug hole in the ground. The reason that they're called Alam al-Barzakh, Alam al-Qabr as well, is because our body goes inside this hole in the ground, for example. Or it could be for some people, Alam al-Qabr, in fact, somewhere else. Some people may not have been buried. They may be in the sea. Their body was left in the sea. Or their body was become a mummy, for example, like the Egyptian mummies. This is not the Alam al-Qabr that we are talking about. That's the place for this body. But our soul gets separated from this body and will continue in the next world with a type of proxy body which is similar in its shape to this body, but is not made of the same molecules. So in Alam al-Barzakh, our soul would have a way of being recognized by others, and that is a type of body that we call Qalib al-Mithali. It's like a frame. As we said, going to the next world is similar to coming to this world through the world of uterus. So one may have difficult delivery or easy delivery. The hardship or ease in going to the next world is based on certain deeds that we have and certain attributes and behaviors that we acquired in this world. The important thing is that our existence in the next world can feel and would get punished or may get pleasure in Alam al-Barzakh until the day of judgment, although these things may change. I give you an example, a simile, about what Alam al-Barzakh is. Imagine this world is a country that we live, and Alam al-Barzakh is another country that we want to travel to. So this is the country of origin, or the old country, and we want to immigrate to the next country, which is called Barzakh. At the start of entering the next world, there will be a kind of search and checkpoint for everybody who wants to go to the next world. People who have been murderers and criminals in the country of origin, at the start of entering the new country, they may be arrested. In this system, because it's been made by a very, very accurate system, escaping from that is impossible. At the start, the person who is at the checkpoint, the agent or the agents, which are called either Nakir and Munkar, two agents, or Bashir and Mubashir, that at the start, when they check and they realize somebody is the criminals, the checkpoint for them is the Nakir and Munkar. And the ones that they have good background, when they want to enter the new country, they will send them to the other line that is checked by Bashir and Mubashir. Bashir and Mubashir, the two agents for good people, are very good looking, very kind, very gentle, and they sort out those people who are coming to them. They will sort out their affairs very quickly. On the other hand, Nakir and Munkar are very harsh. They look angry, and because they are dealing with the murderers and criminals, they are quite difficult to deal with, and they may take quite a while to sort out the affairs or the acceptance of the person who's coming. People who come to immigrate to the new country, almost always when they come, when they get to the line, that's it, they don't go back. Rarely, they may come to the line, but they get the ability to go back. And when they got to the checkpoint, sometimes there are other people coming to see them. The important authorities of the new country, they would come to check to see who these people are. And these important authorities are usually 5 people. They call them the authorities of the name of these 5 people is the Ahlul Kisa. So the Ahlul Kisa, the 5 important people of the new world, they come, and if somebody is good, they get very happy to see them because they would help them. But those people who are not good, they don't get happy to see them at all because they're not going to help them. So exactly like the way that we have entering in a new country at the checkpoint, we have the green and the red line. We have the same thing with this world, that we have green and the red line. Some people would pass, they go through the red line, and because they have problems, so the end of the red line is actually as a type of jail that they call them Jahannam Barzakhi. So it's the hell of Barzakh, of the world of Barzakh. But those people who go through the green line, they go straight to the heaven of Barzakh. So it's another sort of entrance to the same world, but is called heaven. There are the third group as well, that they come from the old country. Those are people who were mainly sleep during their stay in the country of origin, the old country, which means that these people do not have a lot to be checked. So they will check them at the start. Once that they've done their check, because they were asleep, For some reasons, they need to sleep more. When they come to the new country, which is called Barzakh, they put them to sleep as well. They say, okay, you can sleep here, because somehow they have to sleep a lot. And they will wake them up later on. In the world that is through the green line, and those are people who are good people, they don't have anything to declare basically. In that world, there is a possibility for them to see other relatives and people who they knew from the old country that they traveled before them. They can go and see them. Everybody enters the new country through a separate door that is called grave. The new country has its own currency. The new country's currency is called Amal al-Salih, or good deeds. Some of the people who have been sending some of these Amal al-Salih, the good deeds that they have, which is the currency, they've been sending the currency for this new country long time in advance, and that money is in the bank ready for them, so they can go and cash it. They call that the type of bank account for that particular money that they sent. They call them, the bank account is called Muqaddam, the bank account of Muqaddam. And there is another type of business that they had in the country of origin. So in that country, they set up a business which has been producing more money. It's giving more benefits. And that this still comes to their bank account here, but goes to another bank account after their entrance. They call them mu'akhar. And the money that comes through that is through a system like these money transfers that they call it Sadaqa al-Jariyah. Now these people, sometimes they can even freight their currency long time in advance. But if they do not have enough of that to freight or send to the bank account any money, sometimes they come to the green light, being good and not have done anything bad as such, but they may be still poor in the new country. Some people go through the red light, they go to the prison of Barzakh, that is called Jahannam or Hell. They get their sentence, they get punished, and then after that they serve their sentence, they come to the other side of the new country, which is called Heaven of Barzakh. Although, as we said, many of these people, they may be still poor there. In the new country, there is a type of school for some of the children of the good people who had lots of currency, Amal Salih. They kept their money there, so they could spend this sometimes on themselves, and for that reason they have credit in the bank, and they can with that credit they can even send their children to a special school. Some of these people, they sent their children before themselves to the new country, and they will be well looked after. And the teachers of this new school, the special school in this new world, Barzakh, the teachers, there's some teachers, for example, the famous one is Ibrahim al-Nabi, ala nabiyyina wa alihi wa alayhi salam, and somebody else called Fatimah al-Zahra, Sayyidatu Nisa'i al-Alameen, salamullahi alayha. Now, people who come to the new world, they stay there until all other people who were in the old world, they come to this country, to the new country or world. They join them and they wait, because they are waiting for a very big earthquake. They know that one day they have to leave this world as well. And leaving this world is because of that big earthquake that comes. There is a type of connection between the old world and the new world. It's like a type of mobile phone with picture, so you can do like something like FaceTime, for example. So they can sometimes, people, if they get hold of that, it's very rare, it's very difficult to get hold of, and you got to spend lots of the currency of the new world, which is called Amal Salih. So you got to have a lot of that, and because of that, they may give you the credit to have this mobile phone to be able to even see the new country while you're still in the old country. This special mobile phone is called the eye of Barzakh, Barzakhi eyes. Now, as you may notice in this example, we try to give some information about where we go when we go to Alam al-Barzakh. We need to understand that our life and the transfer from here to Alam al-Barzakh, our death, is a gradual transfer, even though we may consider in medical terms somebody dead or alive, but their soul slowly goes out. That's why when the person is dead, still the soul is around the body. And it means that he has passed the line and he's not going to go back, but it's still around the entrance. Hasn't been to the checkpoint, so he's still in the line. There is one of the mustahabbat for burying somewhere, the burial mustahabbat, recommended acts. One of them is to put the body before burial, put it down 3 times, twice, and then the 3rd time put it in the grave. Because that person's soul still is around and feels scared to go suddenly, the body gets buried and he sees that his own body being buried, and this is worrying for him. The riwayah says that the person who dies can still hear the, for example, sound of adhan or the footsteps of his relatives. He can still hear them. So they come, they put the body in the grave, and now he has to deal with the checkpoint and entrance. Now, despite of what some people may think about Barzakh as something that is somewhere else, So as if our soul is here, and then our soul goes somewhere else. That's not true. Barzakh is surrounded, or dunya, you must say, dunya is surrounded by barzakh, is around us, is in a different mode of existence. The same way that the angels of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, which is the belief of all Muslims, that the angels are around us and we do not see them as such. For example, if you remember, we talked about the two angels, that they come down and stay with a person for registering what that person may do. Raqib and Atid. They are with the person all the time, but he is not seeing them or feeling them because they're not that type of people. They're not like us. Barzakh existence is usually like that as well. And thinking this connection with Barzakh itself, thinking like that, it helps us a lot. In some riwayat, actually, people have been recommended to think about death and the fact that after this they're going to be in Barzakh, for example. It helps with treatment of depression. It is based on the Islamic texts. What happens is that the person and those people who are in Barzakh, they still have some kind of connection with this world. Their connection is in different ways. They do have an interest on the place of their burial. So when somebody goes to the place of their burial, they usually find out, they feel it. And also based on how much of that currency of the Amal al-Salih they have, how good they were, they may have freedom to transfer from one place to another. So for paying for the transport in the new world, they need to have enough credit. That's why some of the people from the Alam al-Barzakh, they can actually get connected or communicate through dreams with people in this world. So dreams are another type of sort of phone that we said, which one of them was Barzakhi eyes, could be during the person is awake, or in some people this system might be given through dreams. And we have said that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala compares death to dreams in Quran, and inshallah we'll talk about it. Some of the sects of Islam try to say there is no Barzakh. And this is because the acceptance of Barzakh would prove lots of things related to the Shia belief and majority of Muslims' belief regarding tawassul. And when you deny Barzakh altogether, then you can dismiss the idea of existence or a possibility of tawassul of people who are dead. As in case of mainly Shia and many other Muslims and Ahl Sunnah as well, they do tawassul to the people who holy people like Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Ayyimah alayhim salam. In Quran, there are numerous verses that prove the existence of Barzakh. The first ayah is the ayah that was recited, and that's the main ayah that the name of Barzakh has been taken from this particular ayah for this world. It says that there are these people, when their death, the time of death comes, when their death arrives and they're going to die, because they weren't good in this world, they say, "Oh Allah, oh our nurturer, return us so we may do something good for what we actually missed. We may do things that we didn't do before." Allah Ta'ala says this is just something they say, which means that in action they're not going to do it, which means that even if they do go back, they're not going to be good people. And then he says that in front of them or behind them, obviously this translation they may say differently for wara, but here means in front of them, basically until the day of judgment, there is a barzakh, which means something between two things. So it's between here, this dunya, this world, and hereafter. There is a world called Barzakh. إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ, until the time of ba'ath, the time of coming out of graves, the time of resurrection. You can see in the ayah that these people are asking about going back to dunya to do good things. Well, certainly that means that there is a chance of going back, at least that's what they think. And if there is no world, there's nothing in this world, and all after as-sa'ah, the time that this world gets destructed, that big earthquake. If that's the case, then there's no point for them to say, "Oh, let us go back." Well, there's nothing for you to go back anyway. Second is that they are alive and they are talking to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Third, you can see that Quran says they are going to stay in this barzakh until the day that they get resurrected. This is the main ayah, and then we go through other ayahs, some of the other ayahs. The next ayah is from Surah Yasin. There was a person that became one of the shuhada of Christianity. Is in Islamic text, they call him Habib al-Najjar. There were two people from followers of Jesus, peace be upon him, that they went to the village or a place and they tried to preach, and people weren't believing them. Eventually Habib al-Najjar, who was a believer, got killed because of the act of those people, act of his own people that he was living amongst them. Quran says when he got killed, it says it was said to him, قِيلَ دُخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ, enter heaven. If he just died and Qiyamah is not there, so how is he going to Jannah? Because this Jannah is the Jannah of Barzakh. And then it says himself, this person says, قَالَ يَا لَيْتَ قَوْمِي يَعْلَمُونَ, I wish that my people would be able to know بِمَا غَفَرَ لِي رَبِّي, that Allah was blessed me and covered my sins and everything, and blessed me with going وَجَعَلَنِي مِنَ الْمُكْرَمِينَ, and blessed me with lots of blessings of the Barzakh. And then he says that this person, the Quran says that this person, as we said, goes directly to heaven. The next ayah is the ayah that says, وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتًا بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ يُرْزَقُونَ فرحين بما آتاهم الله من فضله ويستبشرون بالذين لم يلحقوا بهم من خلفهم ألا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, do not call people who were killed in the path of Allah dead, but they are alive and they are getting rizq, sustenance, in a type of status that they have in Barzakh, and they are happy with what Allah has given them, as Allah has given them extra blessings and fadl. And they are giving this very good news to people after them, that you good people, do not be worried about anything. You're not going to be worried, sad, and no fear for you when you come to this world. As we do not have time today, we'll continue inshallah with the verses and other riwayat of Barzakh inshallah tomorrow night. Tonight we dedicate our majlis to the son of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, Ali al-Akbar. The riwayah, the narrator in the history says that when Ali Akbar came out of the tent, he was the most beautiful of them. And when Imam alayhi salam was sending him towards the enemy, he looked at him in a very disappointing look, as this I'm not going to see him again. He lost his hope that he's not going to see his son again. ثم نظر إليه نظر آيس منه. He knew that there's no hope to keep him alive. Imam alayhi salam said later on that this son of his is going towards the battlefield, says, "Oh Allah, be my witness. Allahumma ashhad, faqad baraza ilayhim, that I am sending towards these people a young person, ghulamun ashbahun nas, the most look-alike, khalqan wa khulqan wa mantiqan bi rasulik sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi." This person is the most look-alike to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when it comes to how he looked physically, how he spoke, and how he behaved. And Ali Akbar went to the battlefield and started fighting like Imam Ali alayhi salam. But suddenly Ali al-Akbar got hit and fell down. Imam alayhi salam shouted and cursed that person who attacked Ali al-Akbar and said, قطع الله رحمك كما قطعت رحمي. Ali al-Akbar saying, I'm the most look-alike to Messenger of Allah in every aspect of life and idea, and I love my Baba. Then Ali al-Akbar came to Imam alayhi salam and said, oh my father, I'm very thirsty. Ya abata al-atashu qad qatalani. Thirst is killing me. Imam alayhi salam showed him and started crying and showed him that he is even thirstier than him. And Imam alayhi salam said, "Oh my son, go and fight a little bit longer. And soon Rasulullah, my grandfather, will quench your thirst." Ali Akbar said, "Oh, no fear when I'm dying in the path of Islam. When the thirst is killing my Imam, we will commit no haram." There was last moment of Ali al-Akbar life. Imam alayhi salam look at Ali al-Akbar, and Ali al-Akbar was saying goodbye. Said, "Ya abata alayka minna salam." Imam alayhi salam put his face on his cheek and said, "Ala dunya ba'daka al-afaya." There is no point of living after you, oh Ali. There is no point to live after you're gone. May Allah curse who killed you, my son. Fruit of my heart and the light that goes on. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.